it out. In this session, I'm going to show you and demonstrate how to set up and configure device preparation for Autopilot. So the first thing you need to do is set up automatic Intune enrollment. So let's see where that's at. Inside of the Intune console, navigate down to Devices, then select Windows, then select Enrollment. Now here you want to select Automatic Enrollment. Now there's two ways to have this set up. You can have it set up as for all users, and both of these pretty much should be the same, or you can select some and use a group. Now, when using a group, you have the possibility of testing and trying to use a feature or a solution, and the user is actually not in the group. So I had this issue when I was on a big project with about 15 engineers that was supposed to do testing, and we kept on going back and forth trying to verify if people accounts was in a specific group to be part of the pilot. So the best thing to do is go ahead and select all. You ensure that all users are able to automatically enroll devices. That doesn't mean you have this set to all and everybody going to start enrolling devices. Nah, it doesn't work like that. This just allows users to allow their device to automatically enroll. So the first step you want to do is select all for your MDM user scope and your Windows Information Protection user scope. Or you can use a group if you want to try to keep track of the group and users in that group. The next thing you want to do is allow users to join devices to Microsoft Entra. That is done in Entra ID. So we're going to go to Entra ID. And here in Entra ID, you select Devices. And under Devices, go ahead and select Device Settings. Once you're there, the setting that you want to enable would be the first option. Users may join devices to Microsoft Entra. Again, you can select users. If you do use a group, go ahead and select the same group you set in automatic enrollment. Now the next thing you want to do and have ready and set up is two groups. You need a user group and a device group. Now I've already gone ahead and created the groups that I'm going to be using, so I'll go ahead and point those out so you will have those in mind. These are the two groups that I have ready to use as part of this solution. So go ahead and create your two groups that you're going to use. Now the next thing you want to do is assign applications and or scripts, PowerShell scripts, to the group for deployment. Now this is actually a option that allows you to specify applications or scripts that would actually install after Windows Autopilot and automatic enrollment. So Windows Autopilot and device preparation will take place first. Then after the device is fully enrolled and the user is at the desktop, the PowerShell scripts that you assign at this point or target to a group would then install at that point. So there's two levels of applications that gets installed. A level of applications get installed during Autopilot. A level of applications get installed after Autopilot. So we're going to assign, let's say, one group to our users group to get that application after deployment. And I'm going to do that for, I'm going to pick an app. So I'm going to go over here to Windows, see which app I want to use. I'm going to pick a different application and go with Chrome. Now, once you select that, you want to make sure that this is the install context is set to device context. Now, after that is done, go ahead and save it. Now that you have that in place and those few configurations in place, it's time to go ahead and create the device preparation policy. So we're going to start by going to Devices, select Windows up under Platform, by Platform, and then select Enrollment. Here you want to look for Windows Autopilot Device Preparation and select Device Preparation Policies. Now I already have one created, but I won't use it. I'm going to create one from scratch. Go ahead and click Create. navigate to the bottom and click next. Here you want to go ahead and give it a name. I'll call it Autopilot Device Preparation. I'll use the same name for the description. Go ahead and select next. Now at this point, you want to select a device group. That will be the device group we created earlier. This is actually the device group that devices will get added to during Autopilot. Go ahead and select next. Now for your configuration, you can, with device preparation, you only have the option, the deployment mode of user driven, as you can see. And deployment type will be single user. And you only have the option of join type of Microsoft Entra Join. This will not join to a local domain. You also have an option to set the user as a standard user or an administrator. And I'm going to go ahead and use standard users for this demonstration. And this is your out-of-box experience, 60 minutes or 30 minutes. If the deployment fails, show the message, the error message below. Contact your organization's Intune expert. This option allows users to skip the process after multiple attempts. And you can also show a link to allow the user to create diagnostics. Now, here at the bottom is where you add your applications and or PowerShell scripts. I won't do PowerShell scripts, pretty much the same, just running an application, running a script, but I will add a couple applications. The one application that I will add is the company portal. And I'm going to add Microsoft Apps. Go ahead and click Save, and then navigate to the bottom and select Next. You can add a scope tag, but I'm going to leave the defaults. Now here you want to assign the device preparation profile to the user group you created earlier. Go down and select Next. Verify that your settings are all good, or at least you have green check marks. You can click the down arrow to verify each one of your settings and configuration. Ensure that you have it set as you desired. And if so, go ahead and click Save. So now at this point, device preparation is ready. Now there is one more optional setting that you can do, and that is add device identifiers. You don't need device identifiers for Windows Autopilot device preparation to work, but when you do use device identifiers, that is merely telling the devices to enroll as a corporate device, and it also ensures that only corporate devices are enrolled through Autopilot. Okay, now let's go ahead over to a virtual machine and actually create one, run it, and see if we have any type of failures or success. So I'm going to switch over to my Hyper-V, and this is the Windows desktop that I'm going to use. So the first thing I'm going to do is just shut it down, turn it off, and I'm going to apply a snapshot that'll bring it back to ready for Autopilot. Now that that's done, go ahead and start it. It should be like a brand new, fresh Windows. Oh, while that's happening, I forgot to mention one thing to you, and that is, as part of your configuration, for the users that you do want to go through Autopilot or have their devices go through Autopilot, go to the user group that you created earlier and add the user accounts you want to have go through Autopilot. So in this case, I have one user account, which I'll be using and testing this solution. And now we can go ahead and try that now that the virtual machine is ready. And as you all know, you got a few options to select as the user. Go ahead and select next on US. Select skip to skip the keyboard layout. Go ahead and select accept on the license agreement. At this point, a user would enter their credentials and then watch the process take place. Go ahead and select accept on the privacy settings. One thing I can say that using Autopilot device preparation, the deployment is actually a little bit faster than using the original version of Autopilot. All of a sudden, I'm getting all these bells. For Windows Hello, go ahead and select OK. Go ahead and select OK after you set your PIN, and voila, you are at the desktop. So, there you have it. Hello.